And now, coming to you live from the tri-state area and San Francisco, California, it's the best part of Wednesday, Waffle Box, with your hosts, Mike Fish and Kush Hayes.
Welcome to Waffle Box, the podcast where we talk about anything, everything, and nothing, all at the same time. Coming up on episode 58, we're talking about the gram, especially Aqua-themed world record Vengeance, starring BJ Novak, and so much more. I am Mike Fish, and I am joined, as always, by the main man in San Fran. It's Mr. Kush Hayes. Kush, how you doing, buddy?
What's good, y'all? Kush Hayes here, coming to you with the best part of Wednesdays. It's the new Waffle Box. It's a new week. Mike Fish, I'm so excited to see you. I've been stuck in the Phantom Zone for the last 5 days, and it was awful. I don't think I'm ever going back, and I'm so happy to be back here in society with you and the rest of the Serb squad.
I mean, the Phantom Zone doesn't sound like a nice place to be.
It wasn't this week either. So, but that's
sounds
done.
like something one of the Marvel characters would go into to fight a bad guy.
It's a Superman reference, to be honest.
Okay, so I'm on the right track.
That's the intergalactic prison Kryptonians send their felons to. It's where General Zod escaped from. It's a whole thing.
That
Anyways.
flying disc thing.
Yeah. That mirror thing. We're like, whoa. Yeah, that thing. However, unlike that place, I drank top shelf booze and ate really well. But I labored my fucking ass off too, and I'm done.
Was it free? The top shelf stuff you was drinking and the good food you was eating?
Yep. I mean,
oh, there you go.
There was a cost for everything, but it wasn't monetary. Like, so.
Yeah,
and I'm back in fighting shape again. Like, I've got some definition on the torso here. Got the best calves muscles in the world. Like,
sun's out, guns out, as they say.
There you go, buddy.
But yeah, so you're not entering the Phantom Zone anytime soon, so you can enjoy your week or next week.
Well, more work to come, but it's the exciting work that we love, and it's with the local SF Giants, and this is still more busy stuff to come, but it'll be much better than where I was. But how's your week been, Mike Fish? What was life like out here in society?
Sunny, warm. Took the TV out.
Got some sun.
Took the TV out for a run. Well, not for a run. Just put it in the backyard and found out that the Wi-Fi reaches out there. So I was watching TV outside in the sunshine. It's wonderful. So on Sunday, I kicked back, had a couple of beers, and watched England ladies win the European Championship. So we are now officially the best female football team in Europe, which basically means the second best team in the world. Behind your ladies, the old US of A. Damn you.
Hey, everyone loves a champion, though.
We'll get you next year in the World Cup. You can stay cocky for one more year, USA. Yes,
my cockiness is in my ignorance that I don't know of this football you speak of. So I'm just like, oh, are we dominating some other shit? Cool.
Soccer.
I mean, why wouldn't we be? Yeah, soccer. Yeah, I'll put $10 in the air for soccer. There.
Whoop. Beautiful.
I need to keep to a rule 3.
Well, should we just kick straight into the show tonight? Should we just kick straight into it?
Jump into a player.
So, Kush, do you do things for the gram? Do you gram a lot of stuff, as the kids say? I don't think they say that, but
there's a Kush and Kai account where I try to Instagram foreign movie posters of every movie I see in the theater. With the movie we reviewed tonight, it's so indie-rific. There's only an American poster, and it's just one poster too at that. But that's the extent of my gram. Otherwise, like little milestones on my personal account, like here's a screenshot from the app that says I quit smoking 8 years ago, and all those deets. So you've seen that. Anytime I'm at like a big sporting event like the NBA Finals, you might catch a photo or two from Kush Hayes on that platform. But not too many big booty hoes for old Kush Hayes here.
So you're more of a poster. You don't you're not one of these people that sits there and scrolls aimlessly through Instagram for hours and hours upon days.
Not hours and hours, but after a while, it all becomes the same thing. You know, oh, that's that pretty woman that I've still been following, and she is still very pretty. But she don't know me, and I don't know her, and it feels weird after a while.
In my DMs, it's all. One thing
why aren't you answering my DMs, bitch? Oh, baby. I didn't mean to say that. I didn't mean to say. So beautiful.
We don't use that kind of language towards the ladies.
So beautiful.
But yeah, one thing I pretty much stopped using it, other than to post. They got another podcast out, but because I follow all of these people, but I'm just scrolling through, and it will just literally be sponsored post or suggested post. And I just don't know. I don't know any of these people. Why am I seeing all these people?
And it's never in chronological order. It's
never in chronological order.
Here's a post from 4 days ago. Here's a post from 4 minutes ago. Here's a post from 4 hours ago. Here's a post from a week ago. Here's a post from 2 hours ago.
Because it would be the first post it shows me, and I'll like it and maybe leave a comment. Cool. But then I realized they posted it 2 weeks ago, and now I look like a creep because it looks like I'm stalking their stuff. Anyway, so that was me. I hated Instagram for that. But apparently I am not alone. And the good people of the interwebs have spoken up, and now Meta, aka Facebook, have finally responded and said, yeah, we were kind of just trying to be like TikTok and we messed up. So Instagram says that it's pausing a rollout of new features on its app following backlash online from users, influencers, and celebrities, one of which was Kim Kardashian. And as we all know, everyone listens to Kim Kardashian because when she speaks, it goes into gospel, apparently. Don't know why.
Well, at least about Facebook and Instagrams for sure.
Yeah, she's pretty.
She knows what she's doing with that shit.
Among new features was an increase in recommended video content in a similar style to rival app TikTok. So basically, everyone was like, if I wanted to be a TikTok, I'd fucking get TikTok.
Be on fucking TikTok, yeah.
I'm on Instagram because I want to see photos of everyone else's meals.
And big booty hoes.
And social media coming around this time in a couple of weeks.
Kittens.
In a couple of weeks, social media, especially like Facebook and Instagram, are going to be a nightmare because all it's going to be, especially people of my age, or of all the friends that I have, it's just going to be first day back at school photos, first day back at school photos, first day back. I don't, no offense, but if I'm a personal friend of yours, I'm looking into the camera, so you know I'm being serious here. If I'm a close personal friend of yours and we're on Facebook together, I don't care about your kids' first day at school. I didn't care about it last year. I didn't care about it the year before that. Like it's a kid with a nice haircut, ooh, and maybe a new bag. I don't care.
To all my Facebook friends, I like seeing your kids' first day of school pics. I'm just like, yay, look at them grow. Look at your life, people. You're doing fantastic. Keep it up. I'm proud of you. All the folks I grew up with. Now you got your own kids. Good for you.
Anyway. So Instagram boss Adam Mosseri told The Verge, which I don't know what The Verge is, but it sounds pretty official, that the test version of the revamped app would be phased out within weeks, saying, I'm glad we took a risk. If we're not failing every once in a while, we're not thinking big enough or bold enough. Yeah, you get that? He said, but we definitely need to think. I don't know why I think he talks like this, but we definitely need to take a big step back and regroup. When we've learned a lot, then we come back with some sort of new idea or iteration. So we're gonna work through that. Blah 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 blah.
I do like your impression. The Verge is also a cross between IGN and Vice. It's a little weird middle ground there. So yeah, the Verge is a legit source for certain subjects. This is one of them.
Oh, I wasn't claiming it wasn't legit just because I haven't heard of it.
Yeah.
But
just explain to you what I know about it.
But yeah, he had previously posted a video explaining the move towards video. Ironically, people were bitching about too many videos on Instagram, so he posted a video. Maybe that's not a good idea. But saying that full screen videos would be promoted over photographs. But after some backlash, he followed it up with a series of tweets saying he wanted to continue supporting photos. Hashtag stand with photos.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
finally, hopefully, and I did actually check today, actually went through my Instagram feed and it's actually photos of people I know rather than sponsored big booty hoes. Hashtag sponsored big booty hoes.
Well,
So,
yeah, Instagram isn't sponsoring any of my big booty hoes, but I don't mind videos, but again, don't suggest shit to me. I'll find that stuff for myself. Thank you. All right, and usually it's stuff I definitely don't want to see. It's usually stuff I definitely don't want to see for whatever reason that you guys decided I needed to see. So stop doing that shit. Otherwise, the platform's just fine. I understand your fan base as far as comments is a little less desirable, but anyway, I like posting foreign movie posters and large milestones. That's my jam. And then I like looking at big booty hoes and kittens. Lots of kittens.
you can get, there must be an account that services all of your needs, like women with big booties with kittens.
Probably, but I like to keep my hoes and my kittens apart.
Yeah, you got to be in the right mood for either one of those. You don't want. It's kind of like I like burgers. I like donuts. I don't want a donut in my burger. That'd be madness.
I mean, the Luther Vandross is pretty good, dude. It's messy, but it's pretty good. You would probably like that.
Was that a thing?
That is a thing. A donut is the bun. It's cut in half.
It's called the
got a
Luther
couple burger
Vandross.
patties. It's got some melted cheese. I think there's a fried egg in there. Definitely bacon, of course. Got to have like stacks of bacon on it, and then probably a bunch of other shit I'm forgetting. But yeah. It's a real thing.
Why is it called the Luther Vandross?
Luther Vandross was a big fat R&B singer, and then for a minute he was a svelte, skinny guy. And
I was gonna say, was he that big?
Same.
I remember Barry White being big. Was Luther Vandross?
Wow, he was probably smaller than Barry White, but still, we're not. This isn't a contest, Mike Fish. I'm just reporting the facts here. There's a time when the man was fat and everyone loved him. Then he went skinny and not so much, and then he went back and fat and everyone loved him. But then he died. But that was like his jam. He loved
risky take.
Rumor on the streets is he loved that burger.
R.I.P.Z. From one tech story to the next, this one caught my attention because it blew my mind. So you're familiar with the phrase or the thing, conjoined twins, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these two twins, or one twin. How was that? Would you say two twins or one set of twins, like a pair of socks?
They're a set of twins, and that are siblings and or brother and or sister.
Beautiful. So this set of twins were joined at the head. So there's like they were connected like the forehead type thing. But they were like on top of each other. So you couldn't walk because then the other one would be basically doing a headstand, which wouldn't be very comfortable.
They can probably walk, but it's still not efficient.
But you just walk until the one up top gets dizzy, and then you have to swap places.
No, it's a lot of hunchbacks, but again, there aren't too many hallways, so usually someone's probably shuffling backwards, and the other one's guiding, like, oh no, on your left.
Now, they're horses, I guess, because they're like seeing at the side, but I don't know. Anyway.
I mean, your peripheral vision is shot, for sure.
Anyway, rather than making fun of them, I will talk about them. So these two Brazilian twins were joined at the head, have been successfully separated with the help of virtual reality. 3-year-olds Bernardo and Arthur Lima underwent surgeries in Rio de Janeiro with direction from Great Ormond Street Hospital in London. So the team spent months trialing techniques using virtual reality projections of the twins based on CT and MRI scans, and it was described by surgeon Gelani as space-age stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So,
that's dope.
So they kind of virtually reality, they had like goggles on, And so the
Yeah, they just
Brazilian
kept
doctors
practicing and
and the London
practicing.
doctors were basically doing surgery together in two different countries. So,
Mhm.
that's so cool.
It's pretty amazing, man.
But yeah, speaking about the VR aspect of surgery, Mr. Delaney told the PA news agency that it's just wonderful. It's really great to see the anatomy and do the surgery before you actually put any children at risk. So
Yeah. It was a practice run. They just kept training over and over again for this, man. That's amazing.
So they had total of 7 surgeries involving
Wow.
more than 27 hours of operating time for the final operation, including 100 medical stuff. But they are now separated. They can now do their own thing. But God damn,
well, now they have to
technology,
recover,
man.
and that's exciting. Yeah, that's very encouraging. There was a time when like you were just again, I wasn't joking, dude. They can walk, but life would have been incredibly stressful and awkward for them. Like there's no wheelchair for that. There's no like, well, this week you get to rest on the table and I'll push it. Like no, like it's a disability. So, and that's just one of them. Like people get conjoined to all sorts of various body parts.
What would going to be the worst body part to be joined at?
Probably the head. Yeah, probably the head.
What about the butt?
Like I mean, that's more or less likely the hip. So
No, I'm talking about the
you'd
butt.
probably be better.
Like,
yeah, that's not a thing.
Like when one poops, it just goes into the other.
Yeah, that's
where my mind
thankfully
went.
not been a thing. That's okay. That's thankfully not been a thing. However, my favorite Siamese twin
Shame
strippers,
myself.
Siamese twin is not the correct nomenclature. My favorite conjoined twins are a set of strippers named Lefty Lucy and Righty Tighty.
You have a favorite set of conjoined twin strippers?
To be fair,
That's
they're the
awesome.
only conjoined twin strippers.
Oh,
But
I was going to say, are we going to have a Kush Hayes top 5?
maybe. I bet we could scrape one together.
So, sorry, was it Lefty, Lucy, and Righty Tighty?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, they were feeling good about themselves because they were favorite conjoined twin strippers. And now they've just
I was
found out.
feeling good about them.
Now they just found out they won by default.
Oh, they knew. They knew.
I mean, they saw a gap in the market. They went for it. Hats off to them.
Yes.
Speaking of
good
strippers,
segue. Good segue.
Speaking of strippers cost you a lot of money. And you know how you can get a lot of money? By playing the lottery. So let's find out, since the Mega Millions was over $1 billion, let's find out the answer to the question everyone has been wondering. Has Mike won the lottery? Did I fuck? That was, has Mike won the lottery?
Wait, what? Was that English? No habla English.
I said, did I fuck? I was have to say no.
Did you fuck? You didn't.
No.
Fuck. That's not good.
I was just crying myself to sleep.
Oh,
because I didn't even get like one number.
that's awkward.
I bought several tickets this time. I know you always fall into that trap. You buy more tickets when the price is higher, but not a sausage. Do you understand that? But does that travel to the American ears? Not a sausage. If someone says they got not a sausage, then nothing. They didn't get anything. Not even a sausage.
Not only did Mike Fish not win the lotto, but he's not getting laid regularly either. This is terrible news today. No sauce. Here. There we go. Next week, buddy. Next week.
That could be a good rap album. Sex and Sausages.
Sure.
That's doing good. I got all the sex and sausages that I need. Etc.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay.
That's
okay.
let's wrap up this car crash of the first half of this week's episode by enjoying a little bit of world record talkage. It's this time for this week's done world record of the week.
Why?
Why? Why would I? Why? Why?
Why?
Why?
Why? Why? Why would you want to do that?
Let's see if I can go another week without Khalees realizing that I'm sampling her song without giving credit. In case she might yell at me like she did at Beyonce. Although that'd be good publicity. That'd be good if she went, fuck you, Beyonce, and fuck you, Waffle Box podcast. And people would be like, what do I know this Beyonce? Well, what's this Waffle Box podcast? And so we suddenly get tons of listeners. It's all part of my evil plan. It's all part of my evil plan.
Oh my.
This week's done world
Oh
record.
my.
Do you like how's your memory, Kush? Have you got good memory?
Not so much. I've been pretty overwhelmed this month, dude. Yeah.
Bad memory. All right. How about you? Do you like playing with deck of cards?
Yeah, I've been known to shuffle a deck of cards or two.
Well, this gentleman combined the two things that I've just been talking about, and he had this man with an impressive memory. This article reads, broke the Guinness World Record in Florida, of all places, by memorizing the order of a deck of cards and sorting a second deck into the same order of the first as the first one. Now you're thinking, okay, what's the catch here? Because there's normally a catcheroo here. This man, Nelson Dellis, did this in a time of 2 minutes and 22 seconds, in the Guinness World Record, for the fastest time to arrange deck of cards, memorized. But as you all know, there's a catch. There's always something else. There's one more level we need to go on, because just memorizing a deck of cards and then shuffling another deck of cards is not good enough. It's not good enough. We need more, Nelson. So this man memorized a deck of cards and shuffled a second deck of cards into that same order in 2 minutes and 22 seconds.
Wow.
Underwater.
Of course he did. I mean, they were all booked up in space. He had to do it underwater.
So apparently, this guy, what the thing was, they gave him a deck of cards. He jumped into the water. Whilst underwater, he had to flash through the first deck of cards. And then, they're probably all stuck together, right? And then he had to jump out of the water. They gave him a second deck of cards, and he had to put them in that right order. 2 minutes, 22 seconds. It's impressive, but why?
So definitely a but why category. This is one of those things where what were you doing when you came up with the idea that you needed to do this? Because you didn't have to do this. There isn't some dude in your town that stole your girl who specialized in this. You're like, I'm gonna fix that motherfucker's brakes right now.
I know that girl loves underwater card shuffling.
Yeah. What is the motivation behind this? What inspired you to do this and do it so hard?
Here's my theory. I reckon this guy's got a very good memory, obviously. So he was doing this at home. He was just read deck of card, read, and then got the second deck of cards, and he did it. Awesome! I'm really good at this. And so he looked up the world record, and I reckon, I haven't done the research on this, but I reckon the world record for memorizing a deck of cards and then shuffling the second deck of cards and says same order as the first deck of cards above ground is probably very quick. So he was like, fuck, I can't do it that quickly. What about underwater? And then he was, I can beat that time. And then that's where it came in. Funny enough, though,
I can tell you this: he's not a gambler, and if he ever was, no casino house in the world is going to allow him in. He's just going to read the entire deck. There it is.
If he walks into a casino,
it's not illegal, but they don't like it.
He walks into the casinos. Okay, any requests? Have you got a tank of water that I can sit in?
You got a dolphin pool I can play in?
I need to be wet from head to toe.
I can only play Texas Hold'em in a dolphin pool.
Check. Hit me. There we go. Underwater World Series of Poker. Make it happen, ESPN. Let's do that.
Twitch. That's gonna be the newest Twitch trend.
Well, they already have women in bikinis just sitting in hot tubs talking on Twitch. I still don't understand that. You know, I like the fair of sexes.
I need to watch Twitch more.
The fair of the sexes, but
Mhm.
I don't understand going to Twitch just to watch someone in a bikini. Don't get it myself. There's better websites.
They're
for that kind of
fashion
thing.
enthusiasts. Fashion enthusiasts, Mike.
But to wrap up this story, funny enough, in the no shit Sherlock category of quotes, Nelson Dellis said that the most difficult part of this world record attempt was learning to hold his breath underwater. It's a very key aspect as well of this record. So I'm glad he did.
I mean, technically, I think you lose all consciousness after 7 minutes. So that's always the window.
Yeah,
he's still in under 5.
When you
He
die,
went well under 5.
it does hinder your chances of breathing a world record. Your memory is not very good when you're dead. You know,
Not going to be counting those cards any faster if you stay under 7 minutes. Yeah.
So there you go. 2 minutes 22. Well done. I guess. But that wraps up the first half of this week's Waffle Box episode 58. My God, we're almost at 60. Still to come, we have a BJ Novak themed middle of the show quiz. We've got the trapdoor, and then we've got a review of Vengeance coming up for you. So stay with us. We'll be right back after this short break. Hey, you. Yes, you. Was you thinking of having that beer? But my friend, it's only 10 a.m. Won't everyone judge you for drinking this early? Well, don't worry, we've got just the thing to help you. Your very own Waffle Box mug. And now, everyone will just think you're drinking coffee, so you can enjoy your morning beer judgment-free. Go to wafflemerch.com to get yours today. Hey, thanks for sticking with us. You're a star. You're the MVP. Still to come. Vengeance. BJ Novak takes vengeance. I haven't seen the movie myself, but Kush Hayes is going to review it. But I'm assuming BJ Novak speaks like this because it's vengeance. But I could be wrong.
I get that reference.
Thanks.
Short answer, no.
Oh. But let's test Kush's knowledge on BJ Novak in this week's middle of the show quiz.
Middle of the show quiz.
Well, we're going to go back to a classic this week. We're going to put 30 seconds on the clock rather than doing the best of 5. We're going to give you 30 seconds to see how many things that you can name. So I'm going to give you a subject about BJ Novak.
Okay.
And you have 30 seconds
Okay.
to name as many things as you can. So, checking out his Wikipedia page, obviously BJ Novak is a very talented young man where he's an actor, a writer, producer, director. He does it all. But this is primarily under his acting side. So out of, I should have counted this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 12 things that BJ Novak has acted in a movie.
Oh, Jesus, really?
In a movie.
I did not know that.
Not counting The Office or anything like that. Movies.
Mm-hmm.
Movies. Out of those 12, I'm going to give you 30 seconds to name as many movies that BJ Novak has starred in. And your time, Mr. Hayes, starts now.
Well, first off, you were very smart to keep this to 30 seconds because I got The Office. I got the new Vengeance. I bet he's been in some Judd Apatow movie, so I'm going to say like This Is 40 or possibly even Knocked Up.
Bing, 2.
Okay.
Think Quentin Tarantino. Brad Pitt was in it.
Oh, yes. In Insufferable Bastards.
Inglourious Bastards, I'll give you that one.
Inglourious Bastards.
3 out of 12. That's like 25%. That's not bad.
Okay. Yeah. I'm surprised
Other.
if you hadn't give me the hint, it would have been less. And I still watched the name. Anyways.
Yeah. Insufferable Bastards was the prequel. So the 9 that
My
you
next
missed.
guess was
what was your next guess?
Intolerable Bastards.
Oh, yeah, that's the sequel. So we had Unaccompanied Minors, classic. Reign Over Me. The Smurfs. The Smurfs 2.
Sad.
The Dictator.
Okay. Yeah.
The Internship. Saving Mr. Banks. The Amazing Spider-Man 2. And The Founder.
Mm-hmm. He was in The Founder. That's right. He was the one who was like, "You're not in the burger business. You're in the real estate business, Michael Keaton." Yeah, that's right.
That cheers to BJ.
That's a shame. That's a good movie too, by the way. That's one of the few movies where I'm just like, why am I rooting for the bad guy here? What the fuck?
The Founder was a very good movie.
Oh.
Well, I have to say, I reckon my theory is if it was anyone else, maybe someone else could have done it, but Michael Keaton is a very good actor. I think if it was anyone else, I wouldn't give a shit. But Michael Keaton's
a very good actor, but the entire time the McDonald's brothers are being kind of like just. I mean, it's nice that they have their boundaries. Like, hey man, we just like our little restaurant here in Sacramento or wherever they were, but it's like, no, this man wants you to do better, and like you can still have your restaurant in Sacramento there, but like
he's just trying to make you lots of money.
He's gonna make you a lot of money if you play ball, and there's like, like you don't have to do nothing.
And spoiler alert,
they boned them in the end.
And they didn't.
And boned them in the end. They lost a lot of money.
Because, dear listener or watcher, you may have heard of this thing called McDonald's. It's pretty big. Pretty big.
Pretty big.
But let's move on before we get back to BJ. This week's section where we're going to take 4 things from a subject and delete one of them from existence. It's time for this week's Trapdoor. Speaking of Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man 2, since BJ Novak was in that, this week's Trapdoor segment focuses around Spider-Man or Spider-Man villains. Dun, 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 dun. So I'm going to list up 4 famous Superman villains, and we have to work out which one's the worst one, and then we'll cut it loose. So I'll give it a Trapdoor set. So the 4 are
Spider-Man villains.
Spider-Man villains.
Copy that.
So we have Venom, the Green Goblin, Mysterio, or Morbius. Those are the 4.
These are just movie villains or just in Spider-Man in general villains?
Just because I'm not overly super familiar with the original literature, we'll go through movie adaptations. So the movie versions of these. So Venom, Green Goblin, Mysterio, and Morbius. So obviously Morbius starred as Jared Leto. Venom was Tom Hardy. Green Goblin was Willem Dafoe. And Mysterio, Mr. Gyllenhaal.
Well, there's no way we're getting rid of William
I didn't
Dafoe.
even write those down. I'm very proud of myself because normally my memory is very bad.
Good for you, Skinny.
So, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this?
Well, we're definitely not getting rid of William Dafoe.
Maybe should I have some tense
You're-
music since we just signed
No.
someone's fate? Like,
I mean, if you got it on you, you can do that. Sure. I tend to go off on this one.
here we go. So we decide. So,
Oh,
Venom,
sexy.
Green Goblin,
Yeah.
Mysterio, Morbius.
We're not getting rid of William Dafoe, so he's off the chopping block. Mysterio, I thought was kind of a whack ass villain, but it was still in a movie that made over $1 billion. So I think we should just keep him anyways. Like there was consequences for his actions in the next Spider-Man film that carried over, despite how quickly they dismissed everything and just moved into the plot
is
of
a whack
Spider-Man No Way Home.
Villain, but they did it very well, I thought.
Mm-hmm. They did it.
Like,
yeah, it was good.
They like, especially the scene of, I mean, there's many, but my favorite one was where that scene where he tricks Spider-Man into giving him the glasses, and then he gloats afterwards. That's a fantastic villain scene. I love that. It's a good heel turn segment if you're in the wrestling business.
Well, then we agree that he's not getting dropped.
I think he's
So now we come to Venom. And as much as I hate not only Venom, the character in the comics, but I hated the idea of the movies, I still have not seen the first Venom. But you know what? I did see the second Venom, and I didn't hate it. I don't ever want to see it again. But I was just like, all right, this isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. So it's also staying. Like Venom having his coming out of the closet party at a rave is one of the funniest things I've seen in any movie. And I'll put that up against most things. So that leaves us to Jared Leto's Morbius. It's Morpheus. It is not Morbin time, kids. In fact, the only good thing to come out of Morbius is the meme. It's Morbin time, but it was a boring film. I think they edited it way after even they filmed everything because just things with COVID got weird. But it's one of the few films that I've ever fallen asleep in. So long, Morbius.
There we go. Oh, that was seamless. It's supposed to. Oh, anyway. But yeah,
Like I couldn't even. I could tell you why you should watch Venom 2, dude. In fact, I just told you
Venom
why to
2
watch
is a
Venom
very
2,
good-
but there isn't. There's
Green...
nothing in Morbius that I would say like you got to go back and see that. Like it's even got a Sunset Vet in Al Madrigal.
Woody Harrelson.
Al Madrigal grew up about 4, 5, 6 blocks away from where I went to high school, but I couldn't like. Nah, it's not a good movie. Morbius stinks.
Plus, I'm struggling to think of a movie role where I was like, I'm not necessarily they're all bad, but I just can't think of a movie role where I'm like, Jared Leto was great in that.
I don't think he was bad in it. I don't think it was his fault. It's just not a good movie. Like I don't think I've seen Jared Leto be bad in anything. Even House of Gucci. Interesting direction.
I'm not saying he's bad.
I didn't hate that.
He's never blown me away.
I liked him a lot in
Fight Club.
Not Way of the Gun, but Fight Club. Sure, that's if you're petty. Sure, that's a good scene too. But Lord of War, he plays Nick Cage's brother in that show, and he's really good. Speaking of which, the whole thing with the WNBA player that's in Russia, there's a negotiation going on. The Russians are like, yeah, we'll send back this woman, but give us the guy Lord of War is based on. And you're like, oh my god, that's a serious heavyweight contender.
What if we just like like for like, since the WNBA player weighs maybe like
we should send them
pounds,
a case of Lord of War Blu-rays
for
the WNBA player.
I mean, that's fair. I think fair trade.
Yeah, or at least how about his weight in Lord of War Blu-rays? We'll get him DVDs too. Okay, all region free, and
because
4K discs too.
That wouldn't go well if Vladimir
This is Region
Putin
1.
got all of these DVDs and he whacked it
Can
in.
you
He was like, can't play this. in
World
your
War
region."
III would absolutely
Oh.
start based on like they sent us Region 1. Region 1!
Get me the button,
Give me the button.
bitch.
Boop.
Ah,
That was a nice
it's
inflection
fun
there,
to
Michael.
talk about World War III. Speaking of, if Vladimir Putin did get Region 1 DVD sent to him, he would want vengeance.
Ooh, that was a good segue.
Yeah, it was. And so now let's talk about Vengeance, starring BJ Novak in this week's Kush's movie review.
Kush's movie review.
One of these days, I'll get a new voiceover for that one, rather than a generic, totally obviously that's an AI doing that voice.
Oh.
Anyway,
If there are
Vengeance.
options, I mean, I don't hate it, but if there are options, I'm open to hearing what there is available. But anyway, BJ Novak's Vengeance. It's not just he stars in it, he wrote and directed it. This is produced by the Blumhouse Films Association. You know Blumhouse, they do all the horror movies for super cheap and make mad profit off of it. This isn't one of them. This isn't a horror film, but there are horrific elements to it. But everything is way off screen, and you don't really need to use your imagination. The worst thing that has happened in this film is a young girl has overdosed on some opioid, and it's not even confirmed that she might. A brother thinks that she may have been murdered, despite what the police report is. So we meet BJ Novak. You know him from The Office. He played Ryan the intern, and the entire
And
list of films Mike
Unaccompanied
just listed
Minors.
for us.
Knocked Up, Reign Over Me,
Mhm.
in Indecisive Bastards, The Smurfs.
You know what? I'm also surprised how often Unaccompanied Minors comes up. I've never seen it, but I was like, okay, I guess that's the new
sounds-
Home Alone.
Oh yeah, but they just it's like the Avengers of Home Alone. Like they all unite and they just go to town on these people.
Have you seen it?
No.
Oh, okay. Anyway, not important. We meet BJ Novak, and he is one of those uptight, up his own asshole New Yorkers that thinks way too highly about himself. I mean, he's got a pretty sexy resume, dude. Like, and he's got a blue check mark, and he's a writer for the New Yorker. Like, he's got everything going for him, but he's just miserable, and he's just like texting bitches all day long, and just like, rah. Like, all these chicks want me, and I want them, but life sucks anyway. Rah. One night, he gets a phone call from a man who is crying, played by Boyd, what's his nuts? The gentleman from Logan. He was also in Narcos. I forget his name right now. Do you remember Logan?
Yep.
The bad guy in Logan. The blonde dude with the hands. I think his name is Boyd Holbrook. While you're looking that up for me, thank you. This gentleman is crying, and he's like, hey, man, I got the worst news you're ever going to see. Your girlfriend is dead. He's very confused by this news. Meanwhile, there's a half-naked woman already in his bed. He's like, what?
Boyd Holbrook?
Boyd Holbrook, I believe is the name. Again, this bad guy in Logan. Okay.
I
Anyway,
actually don't remember the bad guy in Logan. All I remember is the ending scene
The dude with the
Ben-
mustache.
when he's being buried and there's the crucifix and then the kid turns it sideways so it makes an X for X-Men. Still gives me
I
shivers.
giggled at that shit. Did you see Narcos?
I did not.
Okay. Well, he's the white guy in Narcos. Anyway, moving forward. Despite BJ
Sounds
Novak
like a cereal for snitches.
Narcos.
No,
Now with
no.
cinnamon.
You a narc. If you like snitching on your friends, don't do that on an empty stomach.
Yeah.
Have a bowl of Narcos.
Okay. Anyway, hombre, shut up. Instead of BJ Novak just saying, "Hey man, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and I don't know who this dead chick is," like he ends up getting guilted into getting on a plane and going to middle of nowhere Texas, where he attends the funeral of this chick that he actually did hook up with once, and for whatever reason, like she was super stuck on him. Like there's photos of him all over the place. When you go to a funeral and like there's a giant memorial photo there, like it's a photo of just him with a glass of whiskey and an ice cube, and she's just like kissing his neck, and it's like it's very out of place, but it's like, oh, okay, that's the thing that
That's
happened.
a weird photo.
So anyway, again, the police report says this woman OD'd from opiates, but her brother has got just a gut feeling that she was murdered. And BJ Novak he's trying to be a podcaster. I don't know why he's trying to get into that game, but hey, money is money, and if he can get paid for it, why not? So he decides to come up with a podcast about like, hey, I met this chick a couple times. I ain't seen her in how long, and all of a sudden she died. Her family brought me up for the funeral. All this, like, this is going to be his narrative. He's just going to break down to the world what happened to him. And then we went on this investigation, and he's expecting it just like, through trial and error, like eventually it'll just be, the brother will just be proven wrong, that she wasn't murdered, that she actually did have like a pill problem. And that should be the podcast that, instead of people just accepting facts, they make up this weird fantasy thing that happened to distract them from it. That's the plot of it. As we get into the investigation and into the movie and into the Texas isms that BJ Novak is the fish out of water for, and all of the scenes are incredibly funny. There might be a little bit more to this. It turns out she might have actually been murdered, and then like it just gets deeper and deeper. Not going to go any further than that. I enjoyed the hell out of this movie. This is one of those indie-rific films that you get in August that is maybe one of the best films of the summer, but because it's only going to be in like 200 theaters, no one's really going to see it. This episode drops on a Wednesday. This movie came out last Friday. This movie will not be here Thursday. It's 8 days from now. This movie will be out of theaters in 8 days. So everybody should absolutely see this. If you like it, a good suspense, you like a good comedy, you like a good mystery, and you just like, some indie filmmaking. This is a fantastic movie. It's one of my favorites of the summer, might even be of the year. 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5?
5 out of 5. I would shave 5 to 7 minutes off of it, but I enjoyed every minute of it. Of the 6 people in the theater, I cackled like a bastard, the loudest at all the parts that were funny. And then, the parts that were serious, I was just like, where are we going with this? Please, I need more. Give it to me. I don't think I'll see this in the theater again, but I would absolutely love to own this on iTunes.
Do you reckon this is going to be one of those, the small time indie movies that come out of left field around award show time?
No, I don't think. I think this is going to go under everybody's radar. I don't think this will get nominated for any gold trophies in February. But it's a fantastic film. BJ Novak is a fantastic writer, as he's proven on The Office, as he's proven with this. I believe this is his directorial debut, but even if it isn't, he told the story he meant to tell, dude, and it was really good. And I'm satisfied with like a lot of it. Again, like 9.99 out of 10.
Oh, hats off to you, BJ. That's one top-notch BJ.
If you're a Texan and you love Texas and you love to see people be awkward that are not used to Texas, this is your fucking movie.
So you'd only shave 5 minutes off of that. So what you're saying?
Maybe 7. Yeah, there's a small lull in it where I was like, we don't need this scene. We don't need this. Is just steering away from. We should still be going forward. We should still be going forward. Stop this side track.
So there was nothing sloppy about this BJ. What you're saying? This BJ work.
Oh, you. Normally, I give every sloppy BJ a 5 out of 5, but no, this is a good one.
if you're into that kind of thing. So congratulations. As always, we do wrap up the show with a feel-good story. So, going to cleanse the mind after that filth that I was just talking about. But before we do that, let's get the plugs in. Let's get the plugs in, baby. Obviously, you can follow us on all our social medias at Wafflebox POD on Facebook, Twitter, and even Instagram, where you can follow us. You probably won't even see a single thing we do because you'll just get those big booty hoes just post. But do it anyway for funsies. Obviously, if you are listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all that good stuff, you can see the video version as well. Go to our YouTube channel. If you are watching us, you can also do the listening version. You can do both at the same time. Give us double listens. We don't mind. We don't judge. Go to enjoywafflebox.com for all the links. And of course, you can go to extrawaffle.com for extra bonus content, where last week we did dive into the Vince McMahon saga. Ooh.
Has there been anything extra out of that? Like, have you been following it? Like, I haven't heard anything extra on Twitter and like, oh my God, Raw was the most different thing ever this week. I haven't heard anything like that.
Oh,
and we're now into Wednesday.
To the contrary, Raw was very good and very different. There was, we'll go into it, but there was.
Okay. Well, that's how out of the loop I still am.
Yeah, though. But the only thing Vince McMahon related is that the SEC is still investigating. So. It's still to be continued on that.
And guess what? He could always come out of retirement. Ric Flair did it 14 times. Terry Funk did it 27 times. It's not unheard of.
Ric Flair had his 16th last match ever over the weekend, and
I heard.
Rough. I hope he is the last one. Jesus Christ, for his own
TBD.
Anyway, Clichés also does many podcast projects. One of the good folks at the Syrup Squad got to look forward to on the POSnet family this coming week.
So I usually plug the microdose. No microdose this week, kids. I'm sorry. I failed you. I'm trying to get you 52 of them, but we have to skip this one. It was just a consequence of everything that has been happening. So just you'll excuse me. But we'll be back the week following with more microdose goodness. But Sweet Science Cinema is also a thing. Me and Jameel Hemphill talk about Adam Carolla's 2007 The Hammer this week, and Jameel's not a fan. You'll have to find out why. And otherwise, we're already doing the Waffle Box right now. But that's it.
Beautiful. And where can people find all those links to check out all those shows?
Thank you. Of course. Everything's on the bosnet.family. You seem to neglect that detail a lot. You just know where to find us. The bosnet.family. Thank you, Mike.
Wonderful. All right. Let's leave everyone on a high note, make everyone feeling all warm and fuzzy inside with this week's feel-good story of the week.
Fucking story I've ever heard in my entire life. That's insane. Can I hear it again?
This one hits a little close to home for both of us, ironically, because this feel-good story comes from England, but it also involves red-headed people, which, for those who haven't watched the video version, because she's a redhead, or at least a red beard.
That beard is still on my head.
No one's ever seen the top of Cush's head. So yes, we spoke. I was actually supposed to try to bring this up last week, but I totally forgot. Because obviously we were talking about the British or the European heat wave on last week's episode of Waffle Box. But back in those crazy days of that heat wave, a British movie theater chain offered free tickets to people with red hair for the 2 days during the heat wave. Showcase Cinemas announced on its website and social media accounts that redheads can get free tickets to the movies, any movie of their choice on the Monday and Tuesday, as part of the chain's Sun Protecting Flicks or SPF promotion.
Wow. I might start crying here. That is wonderful.
I don't
I
know.
love this promo. I would have 1,000% been at like all.
Oh, you've been there.
By the way, doing a
48
triple
hours.
feature is exhausting. You're still just sitting there, but it's exhausting for some reason, Mike Fish. But yeah, I'd have been there the whole day. Wow.
They said, as quote, experts say that the UK is soon to have a witness the hottest day ever, which they did. Blah blah blah. And since redheads are often more vulnerable than most of the sun's rays, we're giving them shelter from the sun inside our fully air-conditioned cinema screens to catch the latest blockbusters for no cost at all. The promotion was, however, limited to 1 ticket per day for each red-haired person, which is fair, I guess. You can't bring all your friends.
So you can't bring all your friends, but apparently you can't go to every movie during the day. Oh, so okay, that is fair. That was me being too.
That's where you just like pick which.
It's still very generous.
Is the longest? I'll take that one.
Oh, I guess that would be the right choice, right? I guess.
Because I did mention it last week, and I don't want to underplay it. I want to sell it. If that 100-degree weather with no AC inside, if you don't have an AC, like my parents, that was a brutal 48 hours. Hashtag first world problems.
Yeah. I believe that shit. I got a fan running right now, and it's not even half as hot as that, and I'm still just like, woo! I'm exhausted here, dude. So, in both of the weeks, I was in the Phantom Zone. Like, it's very hot, and there's a lot of sun, but there's also like shade from the trees, and I'm going in and out of rooms, and But when I was doing the gig with the NHRA the previous week in the middle, like, there's no coverage for me. Like, I was just there all sun. I only had a baseball hat and sunscreen, SPF 100, Mike Fish, which you cannot get in Europe. Okay, I got the strongest SPF I could find, and I still got even with the hat on. I was expecting like maybe have a tan line right here. That's how hard the sun went on me. Like, it still gave me like a good Texas tan, to bring it back to the film we did tonight.
Here's a fun little bit of trivia for you to end the show. Do you know actually what the SPF factor actually means, i.e. SPF 30, SPF 50, SPF 100?
Sun protection factor?
No, yeah, that's what the SPF stands for, but do you know what the number actually means?
Minutes.
It is suggested minutes between reapplications. Very good.
I actually just learned that recently.
Yeah, I think I learned it like a couple of years ago, but I was like, huh, that makes sense.
Oh no, like within a couple of weeks ago is how early I learned that. Yeah, the whole time I thought it was just like, oh, it's just that strong. Like, but I should probably still put it on every hour.
To be fair, like, I mean, unless you, in that case, why wouldn't everyone just put on the strongest, like SPF 100? Because reapplying is a bitch. I hate doing it.
I get the aerosol, and it's just. But when we come to the face, then you just spray into your hand and wipe that shit all over.
Do the ear massage thing to get the top.
You gotta go behind the ears. You definitely gotta go behind those ears. I don't know how many times you burnt your ears, Mike Fish, but it is not fun. And remember, kids, joints, always gotta put extra protection on those joints. If you just burn those, like, this will hurt a lot.
One thing I always used to screw up on, I used to always forget my tippy toes. So I'd often burn my toes at the beach. That's
thankfully not been a problem. I somehow burnt you can't see it on the thing, but just like above the sock line, like I somehow burnt that, and it's very specific stripe, and it doesn't hurt, but it's like the tannest thing on my body. I don't know what happened there. Like, for a second I was like, do I have a blister there? Is there a blood blister going on out of there? Oh my god.
What's really annoying is that I've actually got a pretty decent tan, but I guess I need to get better. I have to get better lighting because I look pretty pale with these lights on. But there you go.
Your arms are definitely tanner than your face. I think the ink is helping that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyway. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. A little education there, a little sun talk. Enjoy the
guys.
rest
We love
of
you.
Summer. Yeah, keep it casual, keep it loose, keep it hanging. But we'll be back, of course, next week for episode 59. Any suggestions?
59, dude.
Any
Oh, I'm
suggestions?
sorry, what?
Is there any ideas of what have you got? What movie you might be talking about, or do you want to keep it a secret?
We can talk about. I'll give you two options, Mike Fish. We can talk about Bullet Train starring Brad Pitt, which I'm actually on my way out the door to go see right now.
Oh, I want to see
we
that
can-
so bad.
It looks like a lot of fun, dude. I'm
It
pretty
does.
excited about it. That's why that's the reason for the hard out tonight. But also Hulu on August 5th is dropping the newest Predator movie, Prey.
I want to see that too, but for a different reason.
Okay, well, folks, for the audio listeners at home, Mike made a sour face. He made a fizz face for the Bay Area reference. He's like, I'm not into that one, Kush. So we'll probably be talking about Bullet Train next week.
Sexy Brad Pitt. Beautiful. So yes, check out
Sexy
that.
damn
We'll be
Brad
back
Pitt.
next week. As once again, just a reminder, go to enjoywafflebox.com for all of the links. So you can head out to extrawaffle.com, get their bonus content by becoming a member at the Syrup Squad. Also go to wafflemerch.com as well to get yourself some t-shirts and mugs and all that good stuff. Support the podcast. We love you very much for doing that. But until next week, of course, take care of yourselves and each other.
That's all, folks.